Jerry Jones has spoken out on the recent trade rumors surrounding the Dallas Cowboys, and what he said was probably the smartest thing that he said all year. We have to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Cowboys Football 365. If you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today from Bleacher Report, a quote from Jerry Jones. It's a tough one to read. Bear with me. He said, "Are we one player away on defense? I think we're not. I think we're more than that away. But we're closer to than it looks in my mind is executing better on defense." Pretty much what he said is we're not one player on defense away. We're more than that. So trading for one player isn't going to be a fix-all solution. So that's why he doesn't want to go all in on a player. The second part is we need to execute better on defense, which is absolutely correct. Currently, the Dallas Cowboys defense ranked in the bottom 3 in yards per game, but there was more to this article. Jerry Jones also said, "A loss is discouraging, but as far as my temperament, if I saw a proposition for us to help this team, no matter what the score was today, then I would look at it on the merits of this team. And if you're talking about trading for a player or trading a player, I'd completely look at it on the merits of this team, both for next week or the weeks after or for the longer term." To answer your question, no, today will not affect a decision on trading for a player. So he was asked, does this Denver Broncos game, the blowout on Sunday, how much does this affect your trade plans? And Jerry Jones said, it doesn't affect my trade plans. And that's the exact right answer. You don't overreact to any one game. The Dallas Cowboys, we're a good team. Are we a great team? No, we're a fantastic offense, arguably the best offense in football, yards-wise the best offense in football. But Jerry Jones, and that's without Ceedee Lamb for a lot of games. So imagine Ceedee Lamb there the whole year, then we could actually really start setting some records long term with offense. But Jerry Jones is very smart when he says, pretty much, I'm not gonna make a trade or not make a trade based on one game, and that's the way to do it because you have to look at your team as a whole, and that's how you determine what is the best move going forwards for this team. Now, when he is talking about execution, as we pull up, was currently looking at the depth chart. Jerry Jones is talking about execution, and that could not be a better point to make because right now this team, you could argue that they are a little bit under-talented defensively. You could argue that they're currently injured with DeMarvion Overshown still coming off his injury and Trevon Diggs now on IR with his concussion, meaning he's out for at least 3 games. First game was against Denver. He's at least out for the next 3 games of the season. But currently, if we look at what we are cooking defensively up front, Sam Williams, I like him as a rotational piece, as a starter. He's a solid starter if you have the closer around him. But right now, this Dallas Cowboys defense lacks the closer. So Kenny Clark, Osa Odighizuwa, 2 guys that are very solid run stoppers, but they're not going to be going crazy getting after the passer. Dante Fowler Jr., probably the best pass rusher that was currently on this roster, but it's obvious that the Dallas Cowboys, we need more help in the pass rush department, and it's not going to come back from the injuries. DeMarvion Overshown, off-ball linebacker. He's not a pass rusher. He's not going to be putting his hand in the dirt and going after the quarterback. Monty Smith, first-round pick, highly disappointing. Monty Smith wasn't even active week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. So this team definitely needs more up front, but I do agree with Jerry Jones. With that Denver Broncos game, you don't go out and make a humongous move just off of that one game. You don't panic and be like, oh, we lost 44-24 or whatever the score was and go, it's time to make mass changes. That's how you stick yourself in bad situations. That's how you can make a change that is good for maybe week 9, 10, and 11, but long term, it's not the right decision for your team. And we want to win not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs as well. So you can't make those quick fixes like that. But what I wanted to talk about when he's talking about the execution has to be higher, Matt Eberflus comes in from the Chicago Bears, and it is no secret that the back end, the defensive backs, there have been a ton of breakdowns communications wise. There's been a lot of switching out of which defensive backs are healthy. So that's part of it, but that's not all of it. The communication has to be better on the back end. We have talented guys. Yes, all of our defensive backs, they have a penchant to try to step up and they play guys too short and they gamble. They gamble too much. They do. I mean, this is the gamblers team, man. Like, what do you expect? Of course we got gamblers on the back end. So that leads to those long bomb touchdowns that we've been seeing being given up against us all season long. But also, that's why this Cowboys defense is able to put together as many pick sixes as they can. DaRon Bland leading the entire NFL in 2024 with pick sixes, which was super cool to see. But this year, it's, we're taking the gambles and the gambles aren't paying off. So you can argue that's just water finding its level. And last year we should have given up more deep passes for touchdowns, but this year we're not because, we got the really high outcome this year and now we got the really bad outcome and they're just leveling out, evening out. If that was your argument, I understand it, but we are not in last year. The 2 years are independent of each other. So this year what has to happen is who is currently in the secondary, whoever's healthy has to come together, and it's going to have to happen around DaRon Bland, currently our best healthy defensive back. We got to step up. We need leadership in this locker room to get everyone on the same page defensively. The defensive breakdowns cannot continue to happen, although I do like the idea of DaRon Bland trying to gamble and get the picks, because when you give up bomb touchdowns, that gives Dak Prescott the opportunity to be on the field more and have, after we give up a bomb touchdown, obviously it's not what you want to happen, but if the other team's going to score, you want them to score fast, because we want to give Dak Prescott, Ceedee Lamb, and George Pickens and that awesome offensive line, or, banged up, but awesome. We want to give them the best opportunities. We want to give them the most opportunities to score offensively. We just got to keep the football in their hands and give them more opportunities to put up points. That's how we're going to win games. We're not going to, even if the defense does start playing better, the Cowboys are never going to win by being a good defensive team. The question has to be, can we be a good enough defensive team to figure out, to just piece together enough of a full team performance like against the New York Jets, a full team performance to lead to some wins down the line. Last season, the Cincinnati Bengals had Joe Burrow breaking every single record, but they didn't even make the playoffs. We don't want history to repeat itself. We don't want to just be the Bengals of the NFC. We got to step up, and guys have to make some plays here or there. It just could be one or two plays a game, like what happened against the Washington Commanders. One big play can be all our offense needs, all Dak Prescott and Schottenheimer need to get this team over the hump, over a tough game. Just steal some wins, because the defense, I don't want to keep ragging on the defense, but it's such an obvious talking point. It's the most immediate change that has to happen is the defense has to get better. And with the trade deadline looming in about 2 weeks, Jerry Jones does have to make a change. We are yet to see what it's going to be. He says it's not going to be a pass rusher, and it's not going to be in direct response, at least, to the Denver Bronco game. Now, Jerry Jones can, of course, come out, trade for someone, and say, this guy isn't a pure pass rusher, so that's why I said we're not going to trade for a pass rusher, and we didn't trade for a pass rusher. Or he could also, it can be a direct knee-jerk reaction to the Denver Bronco game, and he can come out and play some, mental gymnastics and say, this isn't a direct response to the Bronco game, this is a response to the entire season, which you can kind of say that defensively, the Denver Bronco game looked like the rest of the season's breakdowns defensively, but, whatever happens, this team, there's no question that we need more talent to be infused defensively. So Jerry Jones is without a doubt going over the trade market. He's going to figure out something, whether it's the splash move for a Max Crosby / Trey Hendrickson type, or if it's just going to be a smaller pickup. There's going to be almost a certainty that the Cowboys, that we're going to be picking up someone here to fill out the rest of our front seven, or, even you could argue for the back end as well, because with all the defensive back injuries, we definitely could use more help. Donovan Wilson, Jonye Thomas, also guys dealing with injuries. Wow, crazy pronunciation there. Not fixing it. If you've watched this long into the video, thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and thanks for watching.